A few years ago, I tried making a Chick Fil A Copycat sandwich, and I thought we'd try it again with some updates that have made sense. As always, we're going to be using some of Midamar's Halal chicken breast, available at the link in the description below. And first-time customers can get $10 off their first order by using code YTV10. I always start by cutting off some of the fat, and then I cut the tenderloins into nuggets. To make sandwich-sized chicken, we'll pound the chicken a little bit. You don't need it to be too thin, it just needs to be all about the same thickness. Now we'll cut the breast in half horizontally so we have a nice big piece. Whenever we shoot a video, I like to share with the rest of the office if I can, so instead of making 4 sandwiches, I cut one of the sandwich pieces into nuggets so more people could have some. I used one package for this, which was enough for about 4 sandwiches and some nuggets. Once the chicken's all prepped and ready to go, we'll put that in a Ziploc bag along with half a cup of pickle juice. I've had people who used to work at Chick Fil A tell me this isn't how they make it, but those same people have told me that this recipe tastes exactly like Chick Fil A. Let me know what you think in the comments, because the jury is still out around the office. Now we'll let that marinate for 30 minutes. And while that's having a little pickle party, we'll prep our batter. In one mixing bowl, we'll combine half a cup of whole milk and 1 egg. Now we'll prep the dries with 1 cup of flour, 1.5 tablespoons of powdered sugar, half a teaspoon of paprika, half a teaspoon of chili powder, half a teaspoon of baking powder. And I accidentally forgot to record the salt and pepper, but add about a half a teaspoon each. Then give that a whisking as well. Now we'll batter our chickie by dredging it in the egg mixture. Make sure the whole piece is covered in that mixture. Make sure to press it down into the flour at this stage as well so the whole thing gets covered in the breading. Now we'll repeat that process so we have a little extra breading. Then we'll let it rest on a plate. We'll repeat that process for all the remaining chicken, including the nuggets. Don't be intimidated by this step. It seems time consuming, but really it goes by pretty quick. Now we'll heat up some neutral oil. I used peanut, but you can use whatever you like. It's hard to say exactly how much I used. You'll need enough so that the chicken breast will be floating once it's put in. Get that oil up to 350 degrees, then we'll add in a couple of the chicken breasts. We want to make sure we don't overcrowd the pot. This makes flipping the chicken a whole lot easier. I cook these for 2 to 3 minutes on each side and flip them a total of 4 times just so I can make sure I'm controlling how golden brown the breading gets. If that's not a concern for you, they can cook for 4 to 5 minutes per side, then check it with an instant read thermometer to make sure that the thickest part of the chicken is registering at over 160 degrees. Then we'll repeat this with the remaining patties and nuggets. If you made it this far, could you give us a like and hit the subscribe button? It really helps show our recipes to more people. Once our chicken's nice and golden, we'll yoink them out and set them on a rack with an aluminum foil lined pan underneath it. At this point you have a choice. You can salt the chicken as it rests on the rack, or you can drain as much oil as possible, put the chicken in a mixing bowl, hit it with a little salt and toss it to coat, or you can skip the salt entirely. I prefer it to have a little extra salt so that it has a little more seasoning, but to each their own. So now we gotta make the sandwich, and as much as I'd like to have these exactly like Chick Fil A, my buns are a little bigger, so I'm gonna smack on a couple extra pickles. Place one of my chicken patties, and top with the other half of the bun. I don't know about you, but I'm going for the whole basket, so do not skip out on the waffle fries. If you haven't yet, hit it with your favorite sauce, and that's it. I hope you enjoy this one as much as The Office and I did, and we'll see you next week with another delicious halal recipe.